don't know how these things work. So I was like, you know what? I've never done one of these. I've never done like a tandem live feed. So
Oh, really?
is everything working? Like, is what I'm seeing on my screen is what you're seeing?
There's a little bit of a delay, so people hear it a couple seconds after we say it, but yeah.
Okay. How are you doing?
Good, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. I just got back from the gym. Luckily for me, I still have like a personal studio I can go to.
Nice.
So I'm still able to get, it doesn't have everything. Like it doesn't have like a huge leg press or hack squat or all that, but I'm able to get enough done. I'm thankful. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't have anything to work with. So I'm thankful I can at least get something done.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. So, I mean, have you had to change up your training quite a bit due to what equipment you do have?
Yeah, but more in a hardcore style because without all the machines, you're left with the basics, right? The squats, deadlifts, the barbell rows. So it's actually been kind of good for me. Just have to make sure I don't catch an injury in the process.
Right.
So yeah, but everything is it's been pretty good. Like honestly, I just feel fortunate that I have somewhere to go to because I know a lot of people don't. So I'm not complaining at all about anything.
Yeah, it's going to be a couple weeks, I think, for us too. It looks like May 1st, hopefully, but who knows?
That's really promising though, because I thought it was going to be a lot longer.
I did too. Yeah, I mean, if it's May 1st, I think that's a win. Because I was looking at the summer, so
yeah,
May 1st, I'd be happy with. I'm going a little crazy without it, but I can't get a haircut either, man. Like this is
don't you just
like a caveman?
Huh? Don't you just shave that shit?
Yeah, but I can't. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not so good with it. It's just a buzz, but my hair's like real thick, so if I get like the cheap, in-store clippers, they get like stuck in there. Okay. So like I'll do this and then it gets stuck. But cool, man. Well, let's. I posed the question like a couple times. I put question box in my story and I tagged you in a few of them. But the last couple of days, I had some questions that came in. Some were really good. I wrote down what I thought were the more pertinent ones to what we're kind of doing right now.
Sure.
And I think one that makes sense to start with, which I really kind of want to know too, is one of my customers had asked, as a successful bodybuilder, what made you want to get into the supplement industry, especially when it seems like it's such a saturated industry? And I think that's something a lot of consumers see it as a very saturated industry. Mm-hmm. So I guess, what made you kind of jump into this part of it?
For me, it's more of a passion project. And I hate to say it that way because it makes it seem like it's not as legitimate as a business, but it is. The thing is this, I think some people get into supplements because they think the margins are really good and there's a ton of money to be made. And they're like, okay, I want to get into supplements because I want to make money. Mm-hmm. Part of my, it's a business. I want to make money, right? But the main aspect to what I'm doing is the market is saturated, but the market is not saturated with the types of products that we have. Mm-hmm. And that's where I think we excel. I think there's a handful of brands that have formulas like ours. There's 1,000 brands. I actually had no idea how many brands were out there until I started doing this.
There's a lot.
There's hundreds of brands out there.
Mm-hmm.
But I've only found a select few that have the type of formula that I wanted to make. So I think that separates us apart from everybody else when they actually try our product and go, okay, this is different. And I think that's why I wanted to do it, is because over the course of my career, I've been with 4 different supplements. And all good when I was with them. I was like, I was with Muscle Tech and I was good, but I didn't know as much. Then I was with SciTech and I picked out some ingredients that I liked out of their lineup, and I was happy with those. Then I moved on to another company, and they were more of like an ingredient company. I was putting together my own stuff. And then I moved on to the last company. They were good and they were clean and they were pure, but they still didn't have the formulas I wanted. They didn't have doses, ingredients, everything I really wanted to see. I actually presented them with this opportunity, and I said, let's do this together. Mm-hmm. They didn't find it beneficial to them. They didn't want to do it. So I thought, I just want to do my own thing then. I really believe in these formulas. I really believe in what I'm putting out. And I thought, if nobody wants to do it with me, then I'm just going to do it by myself.
That's awesome.
And I think when the customer, I really believe the customer tries, they're going to see and feel a difference. And I think I've gotten a lot of reviews so far on the orders that have gone out, and the feedback has been crazy. And it almost feels like the game is competing for me. When I compete, when you're on stage, people cheer, you feel like, okay, I worked hard and people are recognizing. And this is almost the same thing. Like I worked hard, put out a good product, and people are recognizing it actually has that same effect. So it's a long-winded answer, but I guess there's a lot of different why this is good for me. This business is good for me.
No, it's awesome. Yeah, I think that's great. I think passion project to me, when I hear that, actually makes it sound like even more than, a career or whatever else, whatever other term you'd want to throw on it. I feel like passion project sounds even better.
Yeah.
I don't think it downplays it at all.
Okay.
Kind of along the same lines, what, I guess, if there was like some kind of niche to the market that you think Hosstile brings, that sets it apart from other brands, what do you feel that kind of niche would be? And what do you feel like, do you have a specific consumer, or could it be used with everybody?
Well, this is the thing, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. And my wife is my business partner, and my brother-in-law is also is also my business partner. So the three of us kind of own the company, and I'm probably going to say something I shouldn't. But the truth is, when I started the company, I was like, this is for bodybuilders. Mm-hmm. Bodybuilders are going to take this. They're going to love it. They're going to know the doses. They're going to understand the ingredients. And as I kept formulating, I'm like, it doesn't have to be just for bodybuilders. I'm like, the guy that goes to the gym 5 days a week is not a competitive bodybuilder. He still wants to feel good. He still wants to feel that he's getting his money's worth. Yep. And he still wants to know what the bodybuilders feel like. He wants to know, like, when I train, I feel a certain way. So I had to kind of change my thinking. I'm like, you know what? The average guy probably wants to know what I feel like. So it started out as the bodybuilder's brand. But as we kept working, kept branding, as we kept, creating the look of it, the website, the Instagram, I thought to myself, this is not just for bodybuilders, it's for anybody serious. If you're just like a weekend warrior and you just want, some caffeine to wake you up before you go to the gym, it's probably not the right brand for you. But if you take your physique seriously, whether you're competitive or whether you're not competitive, whether it's just a hobby for you, but it's a passion, this will make sense. This product will make sense to you, right? So it has really changed the course of the 6-7 months that took us to kind of finally get out the door.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's a good description of it, because when I'm looking at the formulas, I see that they're highly dosed products. So yeah, personally, when recommending products, I don't really see, like you said, the weekend warrior. If you're going to the gym once or twice a week, then you could probably get away with something more basic. It's not that taking these products is going to do less for you, because taking a higher dose of an EAA versus a smaller dose is obviously going to be better for anybody. But maybe you could save a little money and go with a cheaper product if that's you, if you're a 1 or 2 time a week person. But I think really anybody that has even average activity level and above would benefit greatly from these. So yeah, I think that's because I noticed one of my customers had pointed out that you have, premium bodybuilding supplements on, like, as part of the website, like part of the top of it. So I think that's where the question was spurred. But yeah, that's a good way to answer it.
I hope people don't take that premium bodybuilding supplements as like what that means to us, that the supplement itself is a premium product. It doesn't mean that the average lifter or average hobbyist can't take it. I don't want people to get that impression.
Right. And I think that's an interesting part of the industry, though, is the marketing behind it. I think the marketing, that this industry is really run by marketing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one thing I definitely wanted to talk about is, I don't want people to see that and think that either. It's just that they are very well dosed products. I think that's probably the description to use with it. For like, I guess a little bit more into the products, with the intra workout, you're using cluster dextrin.
Yes.
And you are, I had a customer that asked specifically for, and this will be more designed for you to answer, for a prep. They didn't specify how long into a prep or where at in the prep. Do you recommend having carbohydrates during training, or do you recommend cutting that out?
I definitely do. So John Meadows has been my coach since 2014. And one of John Meadows' pillars, I guess, of his nutrition is carbs around the workout, pre, intra, and post. And we only put 20 grams for a reason. I was like, okay, 20 grams can be worked into a diet. It's not like I put 100 grams or 50 grams. I feel like 20 grams is low enough that it will extend your pump, maximize your pump, and extend your endurance a bit, but it's not enough to ruin your diet.
Right.
So that's why I came up with that number. I don't think 20 grams is enough to, I mean, that's 8 calories, right?
Yeah.
So if 20 grams is ruining your diet, then maybe your diet might not be set up right.
Right.
Because I feel like 20 grams is going to be a lot more beneficial to your training than it will be detrimental to your fat loss.
Right.
And for people, the thing is, the other point of it is, if you're really, really against carbs, that's why we came out with the Silo 9. Because if they just want to take essential aminos by themselves, they can. I don't advise that. I advise people to take the Intra R3 because it's not only the carbs that are there, but the aminos are there as well. Plus the Pico 2 is there as well to carry the endurance of their training. And I formulated it that way on purpose because I wanted people to be able to train for an hour and a half leg day and not slow down. So, but going back to the question, like I said, I really don't think 20 grams is going to affect your diet as long as you have everything set up properly.
And there's great data for intra-workout carbohydrates, especially the quicker burning ones, for all kinds of things, you know, hydration with replacing glycogen, which is going to help with hydration, just natural energy levels as opposed to, you know, high stim type stuff, and driving nutrients, obviously. So having with the essential aminos, you know, driving the nutrients. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think that was a little more your expertise, but I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I wanted to talk about too is I haven't seen a lot of brands that use Pico 2 in multiple different products. And I see a lot of the hostile social media is focused around Pico 2. So can you talk a little bit about what it is? I love Pico 2 as well, but can you talk a little bit about what it is and what made you use that in multiple different products?
Yeah, the Pico 2 and that branding, that push for the Pico 2 on the Instagram might be, or on the social media as a whole, might be my fault because I love that ingredient so much that, you know, me and my wife talked it over. I said, look, I need people to know what this ingredient is because I think it's phenomenal. So what it is, a lot of people are used to taking beta-alanine. And I believe that Pico 2 is a good comparison and better ingredient. Like, it does the same thing, but it does it better. And so you're looking for endurance and focus and energy is all going to come from the Pico 2. But it happens faster. So when you get beta-alanine, first of all, you have to get a good kind. I mean, getting the generic beta-alanine, a lot of studies on generic beta-alanine, they're done on like a carnosine or something like that. And to get the full benefit of beta-alanine, you need 179 grams to be built up in your system. So, and that's at 3.2 gram dose per day. A lot of companies are using 3.2 grams. A lot of companies are using 1 gram, 2 grams. So imagine if you're taking a pre-workout with like 1.6 grams of beta-alanine, right? Half the dose. And you have to get to 179 grams to get the full benefit of the beta-alanine.
Yeah.
You're looking at 100. You're looking at 100. You're looking at how many days is that? You know what I mean? How many days times 1.6 is that? So you're looking at
1.6. You're looking at like 112. Yeah, you're looking at a
lot.
That's
what I'm saying. So you have to work out 112 times before you even get to the max point where it builds up in your system.
Yeah. So,
and that's because, not like I said, not a lot of companies are using 3.2. Now, even if you're using 3.2, you're still looking at 60 days.
Yeah.
Right. So the real benefit to the Pico 2 is not only that it's a better ingredient, in my opinion, but it's also that the build point is like 28 grams or 29 grams. And if you're buying the Hostility and the Intra R3, that means you're getting 3 grams a day.
Yeah. So
basically, after 9 or 10 days, you've already hit the peak of where it's going to start working to its maximum potential. Awesome. You're not looking at 2 months. You're looking at a week and a half.
That's awesome.
And that was the benefit, one of the main benefits. Also, I don't like the itchy feeling, but most of all, and this is the most important thing, which is not going to be, it's anecdotal, but I tested them both for a couple months each, and hands down, and after like a couple month run of each, and I obviously had taken pre-workout before that, I had beta out, so it was built up for me. Even after the 2 months, trials, I went back and forth like week to week. 1 week on Pico 2, 1 week on beta alanine, and hands down, every single time, my workouts were better with the Pico 2. It's just not. I just don't feel like it's a comparable ingredient. I feel like it's far better.
I think the anecdotal evidence is very valid with someone like yourself, who I'm sure has taken, quite a bit of supplementation over the years and experimented with different things. Yeah. And now you're putting your name and your face on a brand. So why would you not want, the top-notch ingredient? So I think the anecdotal evidence there is awesome. Yeah. And I agree with you. I think it's got good data for all kinds of things. I mean, even oxygen metabolization with some really good data with Pico 2. So, yeah, I'm very happy that it's in there, and it's something that a lot of our customers like to take too. So,
for those people who don't know about Pico 2, I just tell people buy one bottle. Just buy one bottle, even if you're not at the max benefit of it, you're still going to feel it, and you'll feel a benefit. By the time you're done that bottle, you're going to be like, you know what, my workouts have been better. As long as your sleep is on track and your eating is on track. I'm not saying it's like a miracle, right? But if everything's at 100%, I can't promise because that's like probably illegal, but I think people will definitely be different.
I noticed too, one of the things I really like about the products that you launched with was that one of them is a non-stim pre-workout. That is, that's one of the things that sets us apart from other stores. Is that's probably single-handedly our top category of supplementation in the stores is non-stim pre-workouts. Yeah. And then I noticed with the stem, it's 200 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous and then 135 dicaffeine malate. So even with the stem, with the 135 being almost like I guess you could say a time release. Yeah. It's not going to hit like a high stem. It's going to hit like a mid-range. Yeah. So obviously I think there was, and I'm kind of prying with the question here, but I feel like there was some thinking process behind, let's have a mid-range stem, not a high stem, kind of a mid-range and then a non-stem. So are you somebody that's not very big on, I guess, overall high stimulant intake?
No, I love to be awake during my workout, but I don't love to be cracked out. Mm-hmm. So this was the formulation worked like this. I love the ingredient alpha GPC. Yeah. I feel like it can focus you and almost wake you up, but it's not a stimulant. So you're not raising blood pressure, you're not raising heart rate, so it's going to still be healthy, but you're also not constricting blood cells or right. blood vessels, right? Like you would if you were high stim. Yeah. So we didn't want to exceed 375 because that's where you start constricting, reducing your pump. So we started with 200. I used 200 for a little while. And I feel like 200 is a little bit low. It's almost like, it's like a cup of coffee. It wasn't much. I was like, let's go to 300. So we went to 300. I was originally formulated at 300 milligrams of caffeine and 300 milligrams of alpha GPC. Feeling great. And I said, you know what? Let's double the alpha GPC, see what happens. Because I think you can max out at like 600 with no negative side effects or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So 600. Incredible. The feeling is like the 300 kind of gets you here. And then when you combine the 300 with the 600 milligrams of alpha GPC, you just stay right here for like your whole workout. And then it kind of, so there's no spike and there's no drop. It's just an even like level energy that takes you through your whole workout. And that's kind of my preference. Now, a lot of people love that really high stim feeling. I don't agree with it. And my original thought was I don't want to put anything out that I don't use myself. Mm-hmm. I've kind of changed thought process on that a little bit because I found that some people want something stacked with the bloodshot. And the hostility is not meant to be stacked with bloodshot. A lot of people have asked, like, can I stack the hostility with the bloodshot? They're not meant to go together because they both have a lot of nitrates. And hostility on its own is a good pump product.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so it's kind of like an all-in-one complete. You don't really want to stack them together, but people have been asking for something they can stack with the bloodshot. So we may come out with a high stim pre that's low in ingredients, for those people who love that hard spike in energy, and for those
Mhm.
people who want to stack it bloodshot. But what we created now is what I use, what I like to use myself the most. I definitely am not like a high stim junkie or anything like that.
I think for the people that are watching and that'll see this later on, like I said, non-stem is our biggest category, and this will actually speak volumes to the customers. The non-stem bloodshot is 32 grams of active ingredient. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a 32-gram scoop.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously a couple grams of that is probably flavoring, but
Yeah.
that is a very, very large dose for a non-stem. Most non-stems are not really close to that high, so I like it. I mean, it has ingredients that work synergistically too. I mean, a lot of our customers are very familiar with, betaine and creatine working synergistically with each other. And then, one thing I really like that you said is the arginine nitrate, and it's got a good dose of it too.
Yeah.
So this non-stem, I think, is something that, everyone's going to want to try.
Yeah. The arginine nitrate is an ingredient not a lot of people know about. It's on the package, it's listed as NO3T. That will allow your pump to be the same in the first scoop out of the bottle all the way to the last. And that was the reason why I love that ingredient, because your body's not gonna adapt to the ingredient, and you start to feel like you got to take 2 scoops. Oh, I got to take 3. A lot of these pre-workouts you take, it says 30 servings, but you got to take 2 or 3 scoops. And with the NO3T in the hostility and in the bloodshot, that's the ingredient that will allow you to just stay at 1 scoop the whole way through the bottle, still get the same benefit. So it's one of my favorite ingredients that we actually found, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the non-stem, I'm really excited to try it myself. I think that's there's so much benefit when you talk about a blood flow enhancing product, especially one with, multiple pathways of enhancement. So, you're talking better nutrient delivery, you're talking better oxygen metabolization, better endurance. If you're stacking it with like the intra workout or a post workout protein, delivering those things better, so, and obviously you can't make any medical claims, but possibly good for, things like heart health and things like that. I think that category is just, it's my favorite. And I think that that's what stood out to me the most.
Yeah.
When I looked at the 4 products. So I'm excited to try that myself. I have a very informed customer who knows the industry really, really well, and knows that, looking at the site and stuff, that you're more of a DTC type of brand, as opposed to a store brand. So this informed customer was asking, why Bullfrog Nutrition? Why are we going to have the brand versus like other places? Not necessarily other places, but why is it coming here first?
Well, first of all, reputation. I've talked to other companies in the industry. I talked to Jay. I've talked to John Meadows. They deal with your store, but we feel like we're I don't want to say a bodybuilding brand, but we're a serious brand for people that really want to take their physique to the next level and really want something that's going to work. And I feel like your store kind of represents the same thing. You're very bodybuilding centric. You're very interested in bringing on good products and reputable products and not just anything. And that means a lot. That means a lot to us. A lot of stores will just bring in anything that's going to help them move product and make money. And I know that's still the name of the game. So if that's, part of what's going on, that's also fine. But your reputation in the industry is one of a serious owner that wants to give his customers the best products that he can find. And, when I heard that and you reached out to us, I was like, this is a good fit for us, because that real transparent attitude is our attitude as well. Yeah. So I feel like it's a good combination that me and you work together, and our brand and your brand work together, because we have the same goal in mind at the end, is not to fool the customer, but to give the customer what they really want, and help inform them about what they really need.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I can't wait. So I saw some hype in a question that was posed that you might be looked at for the Olympia live stream. Is that happening, or is that not happening?
No, man, that's just a pipe dream. Let's put it that way. So, okay, I don't fancy myself like the voice of bodybuilding or any shit like that. All I know is I started doing a podcast with a lot of different guys, in the industry, and people seem to like the podcast. It's gone over really well. And I think after last year's Olympia, somebody mentioned it in a thread on muscular development or something like that. And a lot of people chimed in and thought it was a good idea. That was actually extremely flattering to me. I'll tell you this, if they did actually ask me, I would be terrified, because it's such a big stage and such a big deal.
Yeah.
And I never, ever imagined I would be in this position. I never even thought my podcast would take off, but no, they haven't reached out to me. I actually don't think they will reach out to me, but if they do, I'm there in a heartbeat. I could never turn that down. And I know the toughest part about that job is no matter how you call the show, there's going to be criticism.
Oh yeah.
So I guess you kind of have to have a thick skin if you're going to do it. And sometimes I don't have a thick skin. So, but I could never say no. If they actually asked me, that would be a dream come true. I got to get to the Olympia one way or another, either behind a desk or on the stage, right? So
I think it'd be a great choice. I listen to the podcast, man. I think you guys do a great job, you and Luke. And yeah, I think I love it. And you speak really well. I mean, I think it'd be a great fit.
Thank you. I hope we have to push Dan Solomon and hope that he'll let me go ahead with it.
Yeah. Oh, there's a good one. That's what I wanted to end with anyway, Gabe. Okay. So this is my very informed customer I was talking about. So in August, it looks like we're probably, if everything goes back to normal, we're probably going to have an event in Toledo. Is there a chance that we could see you there, like you were here in Columbus?
I'll be there, man. Why not? I don't see why not. As long as we can, as long as I can cross the border, like as long as this, everything's been lifted and the U.S. is open for people to come in and cross the border and all that. I don't see why not, man. It's like an hour from my house, so I just drive there and we can sit around and talk with all the fans and sample products and all that stuff. And no, I'd be more than happy to. It'd be fun.
People loved meeting you here in Columbus, man. We got a huge response from people that met you here.
Yeah, everybody was great. I mean, sometimes those things are. I mean, people don't know this about me, but sometimes those things are a little nerve-wracking for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm most bodybuilders are extroverts, so
yeah.
But once I start talking to people, kind of like good, and it's nice to interact with people and kind of hear their dreams and hear what they're talking about and hear what they like and what they don't like about the industry and just kind of have that kind of shop talk. So yeah, no, I'm more than interested in coming, man.
Awesome. Sounds great. Well, I won't take up too much more of your time. Thanks for jumping on, man. Appreciate it. I think these products are going to do extremely, extremely well with us. And I think this is going to, this helps people kind of put a name with the brand and hear a little bit about it before it actually gets here. So it looks like probably Monday or Tuesday, I would say.
Yeah.
The products will arrive in Columbus, and they should be able to get up to Toledo by midweek, so by Wednesday for anyone that's watching. So definitely keep a lookout for them, and make sure you guys follow Fouad. He's putting out really good content, and we're going to do a lot together, I'd imagine. So
before you go, I just want to say, if you guys go to Bullfrog and you pick up our products, I would like you to, if you could, just jump on our website and write a review, because whether the review is good or bad, I still want to see them, because if there's something bad that people don't like, I want to be able to address it. And if it's good, then we want to see the good reviews too and have everything put up. I'm not sure how it works with the verified buyers, because right now it's like you have to be a verified buyer to leave a review. So I'm not sure how it works if they buy the product at the store.
Okay.
But even if you can't leave a review on the website, just shoot me a DM on Instagram. And I'm more than happy to talk to anybody who's tried the product or tried the product and discuss what they like or dislike about it.
Awesome. So I'll say that a couple times too next week, and if I get any, like personally, I'll shoot them over to you as well.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's cool. I love hearing that, man. That's awesome.